hamakom hazeh manora hamakom hazeh ein ze ki im beit Elohim v'zeh sha'ar hashamayim. How awesome is this place! It is none other than the home of the Almighty, and this is the gate to heaven. Page 61 in our Siddur, the words that are the first words that should come out of our mouths, words of thank you, words of gratitude for meeting another day, for having our soul redeposited in our bodies. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla Rabba Rabba emunatecha. How great is your compassion, giving me one more day of life, tending my soul, caring for it, and giving it to me to use, to live one more day. How great is your faith in us? How great is your faith in me? Your faithfulness is overwhelming. Omer Adam offers this expansion of the Modeh Ani prayer. Modeh Ani kol boker שהחזרת את נשמתי Modeh Ani al בגד שהנחת על גופי שלא יהיה לי קר, אתה שומר עליי. מודה אני כל בוקר על האור, על עצם היותי. מודה אני על לחם שהנחת לשולחני, שלא אהיה רעב, שלא אדע כאב. על אין צפור כי חיוכי מודה אני, על כל כישרונותיי, כל שיריי, את כולם אקדיש לך. דע לך, דע לך, שמודה אני לך. I offer my thanks to you every morning for having returned me my soul. I offer my thanks to you for the clothes you have laid on my body to keep me from the cold. You protect me. I offer my thanks to you every morning for the light, for the fact that I'm alive. I thank you for the bread you have put on my table so I won't know hunger, so I won't feel pain. I offer my thanks to you for my countless smiles, for my talents, for all my songs. All of my songs are dedicated to you. You should know You should know that I thank you. I will cry out for you, your glorious name. I will call for you, my life, for you, my thanks. I will call for you, Eternal One. I will call for you. I offer my thanks to you every morning for my strength, for my father and for my mother. I offer thanks to you for the rain you poured on my fields to care for my loved ones. You gave me my life. I thank you for the day of rest, for abundance and blessing, and for family. My whole being is thanks to you. You should know. You should know that I thank you. I will cry for you, your glorious name. I will call out your glorious name, Yah. For you, my life. For you, my thanks. I will call for you and call for you. For all my failures, I thank you. For my disappointments, fears, and obstacles, all for my own good. There is no one else in my heart. I thank only you. Brad Burston's Modeh Ani. This is what I told myself this morning. Whatever you're doing, stop a second and take a deep breath. A long, deep breath. Take a breath and revel in it. Just to decide that you're alive, and take a breath to give thanks. Ask who is like unto this unknowable Almighty, who invented life itself and breath, and who created our true shields and swords, the health professionals who are the mightiest, if the most compassionate of angels. Thank you, by whatever name, who created and sent us and sustains these heroes, these champions, who run marathons every single day to just do their jobs, which are to perform miracles. Most of all, take that long breath in honor of and in gratitude to the angels themselves, nurses, doctors, emergency medical technicians and ambulance crews, lab techs, orderlies and maintenance and cleaning staff, research scientists and pharmacologists, epidemiologists, social workers, teachers, first responders, chaplains, laborers and workers, and for oh so many others, among them parents suddenly at home with their children, running without training, without help, without grandparents, marathons of their own, all in an effort to save countless lives. We thank you for everyone who is working to distribute the vaccine effectively, speedily, efficiently. Modeh Ani, if only you could hear me, how grateful I am for all of you, for your faithfulness. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. 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 Shabbat shalom. To clean our hands, to wash off the residue of yesterday, the schmutz, that's very important. But just as important, if not more so, is to take clean hands and dedicate them to a day of making this world better, a day of doing what needs to be done, to dirty our hands with sacred dirt, with the dirt of Ma'asim Tovim, the dirt of doing good deeds. Al Natilat Yadayim. We're commanded to take hold of our hands and use them well. The Egyptians, when they saw what God was doing in Egypt, they said, Yad Hashem Hoya. God's hand is upon us. This is God's hand moving, manipulating, adjusting, determining nature itself. God has given us the power to do the same. We are created in God's image. We have the hands to do tremendous things, whether for good or not. This is our choice. We need to take responsibility for our hands. Al Natilat Yadayim. With my hands, I wrap myself in a garment of light. Maya karchazdecha Elohim uvnei Adam b'tzel knafecha yechesayum. Yirviyun mideshen beitecha v'nachal adanecha tashkeim. Ki imcha mekor chayim be'orcha nireh or. Shochazdecha liyodecha v'tzidkatcha yishrei leiv. How precious is your loving kindness, O God. We take shelter under your wings. How precious, how precious, how precious, how precious. We feast on the abundance found in your house. You give us drink from the river of your delight. For with you is the fountain of life. By your light do we seek light. Grant your loving kindness to those who love you, and your righteousness to the upright in heart. Yishrei leiv, the upright in heart. The ones who are honest with their feelings and who work on their hearts to make their hearts a home for justice, for righteousness, for loving kindness. Pharaoh made his heart heavy and hard. We ask, God, fill our hearts with your light and with your love as we smooth our hearts and straighten them. Shochazdecha liyodecha v'tzidkatcha liyishrei leiv. Page 63, middle of the page. Hareini mikabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha l'reyacha kamocha. Hareini mekabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha l'reyacha kamocha. I accept upon myself the binding sacred command of my Creator to love everyone, to love my neighbor, my fellow human being, as I wish to be loved myself. On page 65, we have a long list of blessings of gratitude to God for giving us the wherewithal to walk out into the world and live another day. Toward the end of that list of blessings, we say, Ozer Yisrael Bigvura. You wrap us around with courage. We have to find that courage. We have to speak out that courage. So many people in this time have shown moral cowardice, have shown fear, and have let fear take over their perceptions and their actions. People who should know better. Ozer Yisrael Bigvura. Gird us, wrap us around with courage. We need to speak that challenge, and we need to accept that challenge. To say what is right, and to do what is right. We thank God for this day of rest. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh. Shebo hayu halviyim omrim beveit hamikdash. This is the holy day of Shabbat. The Levites in the temple of old would sing this song. Page 94, Mizmor Shir Li'om HaShabbat. A song of praise for the Shabbat day. A day of rest. A day of calm. Not of panic, not of paranoia, but a day to take a deep breath and to measure for ourselves how far we come this week. What did we accomplish this week? And to take satisfaction of whatever good we have accomplished, and then to take a deep breath so that we can get the strength to continue that work in the week to come. Tov lehodot, lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimecha elyon. Tov lehodot, lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimecha elyon, lehagid baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot, lehagid baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. It is so good to give thanks to the Eternal and to sing to God's exalted name and to tell of all of God's great love every morning and of God's great faithfulness every night. To say what is true. Sometimes we take that for granted as something easy to do. But when the pressures around us are to declare what is false, to promote lies and conspiracy theories and doubts about the integrity of our lives, then it takes courage to speak the truth. Page 95. Mikolot mayim rabim, mayim rabim adirim, adirim mishpereyam, adir bamarom Adonai. There are so many voices being raised in this world of ours. So many statements are being made. So many people are trying to convince us by their voices that what is true is false and what is false is true. That courage is weakness and that cowardice is courage. There are so many voices. Mikolot Maim Rabim, but above these voices of so many mighty voices that crash down like waves of the sea, above all those voices is the Eternal, Supreme. Mikolot Maim Rabim, Maim Rabim Adirim, Adirim Mishpereyam, Adir Bamarom, Adonai. Nech gewalt gehauat koyach, wat ich gelaufen in die Gassen, wohl geschrien euch Shabbos, Shabbos hayom Lashem. If only I had the strength, only I had the courage, I would go out to the market. I would call out and proclaim, this day is Shabbos, Shabbat hayom, this day is a Shabbat. Holy Shabbat for God. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la li la la la, ye la 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 li la la la, ye la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. To have the courage to stand up for what is important, for what is needed, for what is right, and to know that that command is an unceasing command. Here is part of a prayer called Vaera, you shall love, by Aurora Levins Morales. When you inhale and when you exhale, breathe the possibility of another world into the 37.2 trillion cells of your body, until it shines with hope. Then imagine more. Imagine winning. Defend the world in which we win as if it were your child. It is your child. Defend it as if it were your lover. It is your lover. Don't waver. Don't let despair sink its sharp teeth into the throat with which you sing. Escalate your dreams. Make them burn so fiercely that you can follow them down any dark alleyway of history and not lose your way. Make them burn clear as a starry drinking gourd over the grim fog of exhaustion, and keep walking. Hold hands. Share water. Keep imagining, so that we and the children of our children's children may live. The command to love. Page 112. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivtecha beveitecha uvelechtecha baderech, uvishochbecha uvikumecha, ukshartam liot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha. Who is this God we are commanded to love? Who is this God who confronted the egomaniacal tyrant Pharaoh and fought to proclaim to the world that there is a different sense of power? The Almighty, the powerful one. What is that power all about? We say, Rachot v'hodaot lamelech el chai v'kayam. Page 114. Blessings and songs of praise to the most powerful God, the all-enduring majesty of the universe. Ram v'nisa, gadol v'norah. God is exalted and high above everyone. So great and so awesome. Mashpil geim, who takes the arrogant and brings them low. Umagbiya shefalim, and those who have been brought low to the depths, who have been oppressed, who have been crushed, God stands them up again. Motzi motzi asirim ufode anavim v'yozer v'yozer dalim v'yonel yamo. God is the one who takes the captives out of their captivity. God is the one who redeems the meek the humble, those who have been pushed around, silenced, disregarded, disrespected. God redeems them. V'ozer dalim, and the impoverished, God gives them assistance right away, no questions asked. V'oner le'avmo b'eit shavam elav, and God answers His people when they call out in their distress. Take a moment to be silent, to delve and dive into our own hearts, to call out and to listen, Shema Yisrael, and to open our hearts, to lighten our hearts, so that we can have a heart of love and wisdom, and not a hard and heavy heart. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'ale kol Yisrael, ve'imru, ve'imeru, amen. Uyase shalom, uyase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, uyase shalom, uyase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Our Torah reading is the Torah portion Vaera. It's the continuation of the story of the struggle to liberate the Jewish people from the tyrant, the oppressor, the murderer, Pharaoh. God promises redemption. God says, I'm here and I will always be with you. And I'm listening and answering your call. Moses brings this message to the Jewish people. V'lo shamuel Moshe, mikotze ruach u'me'avodah kasha. And they couldn't hear Moses' message. They rejected it because of shortness of breath and because of hard labor. The hard labor was imposed by Pharaoh. And of course, with hard labor comes shortness of breath, kotze ruach. But kotze ruach also means shortness of spirit. It's very hard to have an expansive spirit when you are being bludgeoned and when you are being held down and when you are being enslaved and murdered. And yet, the only hope is to dive deeply into one's heart and find that expansive ruach, that spirit that refuses to bow down to Pharaoh. God begins exerting terrible, terrible manifestations of power. The plagues. And Pharaoh responds by doubling down and by creating more misery for his own people. The Nile is turned to blood, And instead of Pharaoh mobilizing his forces to find water for his people, he turns more water into blood. And when the frogs infest every place, every inch of the country, instead of mobilizing his forces to clean up the plague, to address the plague, to make sure that people are not afflicted by the plague, he has his magicians make more frogs to expand the plague and make it worse. This is his response. On page 367, as the plagues keep on raining down upon Pharaoh and upon his poor people who are suffering because of his obstinacy, his arrogance, his ego, his dementia. As the plagues come down, Pharaoh starts apparently weakening. So on page 367 we read, this is after the plague of hail, Barad, has devastated the environment, the landscape. Thereupon Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron and said to them, I stand guilty this time. The Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. I and my people. What did his people have to do with anything? He made the decision, and his people paid the price. Plead with the Eternal that there may be an end to the thunder and the hail that the Eternal has sent. I will let you go. You need stay no longer. And Moses said to him, as I go out of the city, I will spread out my hands to the Eternal, and the thunder will cease and the hail will fall no more, so that you may know that the earth is the Lord's. If Moses does that. And then on page 368, verse 34 and 35, but when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased, he became stubborn and reverted to his guilty ways, he and his servants. So Pharaoh's heart stiffened, and he would not let the Israelites go, just as the Lord had foretold through Moses. Vayishlach Paro, Vayikra leMoshe uleAharon, Vayomer aleihem chatati hapa'am, Adonai atzadik, v'ani v'ami hareshaim, Ha'atiru el Adonai v'rav mihiyot, kolot Elohim uvarad, v'ashalcha etchem, v'lo tosifun la'amod. Vayomer elav Moshe, Kitzeti et ha'ir, efros et kapai el Adonai, ha'kolot yechdalun, v'habarad lo yihye od, lema'an teida, ki l'Adonai ha'aretz. Vayar Paro, ki chadal ha'batar, v'habarad, v'hakolot, Vayosef lachato, vayachbeid libo hu va'avadav, vayechezak leiv Paro, v'lo shilach et b'nei Yisrael kasher, diber Adonai biyad Moshe. Leman teida ki l'Adonai ha'aretz, so that you should know that the earth is the Lord's. The evil of Pharaoh causes terrible dislocations in the natural world. The oppression that he brings on his fellow human beings results in an oppression of the entire environment upon all human beings. the ethical turns into the environmental. We think that these are two separate realms. Whether we take care of the earth or not is one question. How we treat each human being is a different kind of question. And the message here is no, they are completely intertwined. One cannot be an environmentalist without also being an ethicist. One cannot be an ethical human being without also caring for the environment. A poem by Jeffrey Field Garfield, We Dance the Dance Macabre. A poem that is written, I understand, in the voice of the virus. I've been called zombie-like. I've been called barely alive. I have been called an evil genius. I am none of those things. I am predator. You are prey. We dance the dance macabre. There's no blame. I am intelligent, though few of you would agree. Nevertheless, it is what it is. I harbor computational capabilities you never dreamed of. I process information. I have memory. I learn. I make decisions based on internal, external considerations. I am alive. I am the swarm, the hornet's nest you dared disturb. Tables turned. Did you think I would turn tail and run? I know my life is limited. Death means nothing to me. Kill me if you can. But know this, I will return ever stronger, ever more intelligent, ever more deadly. Shall we dance? We offer our prayers for those who are ill. After the first stanza, I'll pause so that we can focus our prayers and then conclude with the second stanza. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Psalm 140. Lamnatseach mizmor leDavid, chaltseini Adonai mi adam ra, meish chamasim tintzereni. Asher chashvu ra'ot belev, kol yom yaguru milchamot. For the conductor, a psalm of David. Eternal, strengthen me against evil people. Protect me from those who are violent, who in their hearts plot evil, who stir up strife every day. They sharpen their tongues like snakes. Viper's venom lies beneath their lips. again and again. Selah. Eternal, guard me against evil people. Protect me from those who are violent, those who want to take me down. Arrogant people have laid ropes and traps for me. They have spread out a net along the way, placing snares for me and for you, for all of us, again and again. Selah. I say to the Eternal, you are my God. Eternal One, listen to my pleading voice. Eternal, my Master, the strength of my deliverance. Protect my head in the day of battle. Eternal One, do not grant the wicked their desire. Do not let them accomplish their plots. Do not let them succeed. I ask again and again. Selah. Bring down upon the heads of those who surround me what their own lips have devised. May coals of fire fall upon them, casting them into pits that they never arise again. May these rabble-rousers never gain a foothold in this land. May these violent people be hunted down and corralled. For I know that the Eternal will defend the poor and provide justice for the lowly. Surely the righteous shall offer thanks to your name. The upright shall dwell in your presence. Yadati ki aseh Adonai din ani mishpat evyonim, ach tzadikim yodu lishmecha, yeshvu yesharim et panecha. Kaddish, page 184. How we wish we could recite these words in a minyan so that everyone assembled could hear the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shmei Rabbah v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach li'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal Shmei dekudisha brichu Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. It has been impossible for us to gather together, one body next to another, one person standing, sitting, breathing next to one another, leaning on one another. So we ask God, accept our prayers and our intentions, and speedily, for the sake of your own name, send healing and salvation to the entire world. Adon olam asher malach beterem kol yitzir nivra leyet nasa bechepzo kol azay melech shemo nikra v'yacharei Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom.